In January 1920, the 18th Amendment went into effect. The manufacture, sale, and transportation of alcoholic beverages were legally prohibited. Reformers said alcohol led to corruption and issues in the household such as marriage problems. The poorly funded Prohibition Bureau failed to regulate illegal works, causing a rise in organized crime. Congress passed the 21st Amendment on February 20, 1933. It was ratified December 5, 1933. The 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment. The U.S. was still shook from the Great Depression, so legalizing alcohol would provide many jobs and money. Since alcohol was still illegal, people would have to consume it in private away from authorities. So speakeasies were places like bars where alcohol would be sold. These places were hidden and required a password to get in. The name comes from the fact that to avoid being caught, people inside must speak lightly or easily.
Prohibition banned the sale and use of most alcohol from 1920 to 1933. Congress submitted the 18th Amendment, which banned the manufacture, transportation, and sale of intoxicating liquors. But people began to start getting around the law. They learned to distill alcohol and built their own stills. Alcohol was allowed for medicinal and religious purposes only, but it did not stop Americans from drinking. The people who illegally made, imported, or sold alcohol during this time were called bootleggers. Bootleggers smuggled from Canada, Cuba, and the West Indies. Bootlegging became a big business in the era. Illegal sources of production and distribution emerged quickly. Crime became a big business. Many drugs were made illegal when a mood of temperance swept the nation. In 1914, Congress passed the Harrison Act, banning opiates and cocaine. Alcohol prohibition quickly followed, and by 1918, the U.S. was officially a dry nation. However, that did not mean the end to drug use.
At the age of 26, Al Capone was the head of a criminal empire in Chicago, which he controlled through the use of bribes and violence. He ran a multi-million-dollar operation in Chicago which consisted of bootlegging, prostitution, and gambling. As of 1929, his net worth was about $100 million, which is about $1.3 billion today. Violence was a daily occurrence in Chicago. Gangs would fight each other over bootlegging territory. Violence was also used as a means of social and political control. Targeted victims included lawyers, newspaper reporters, police officers, saloon owners, and testifying witnesses. This was in part because organized crime was so intertwined with politics and business. During the late 19th century and early 20th century, lots of Italian farmers, craftsmen, and unskilled laborers moved to America in search of better economic opportunities. In New York City alone, the number of Italians went up from 20,000 to 250,000 between the years of 1880 and 1890.